What's up, guys? Welcome to the Music Hacks Network. For those persons who are joining this platform for the first time, I am your host, Chris Beatty. Let me welcome all the persons who are joining us live on YouTube tonight. And we also have an audience on Zoom with us. It's another exciting Thursday night on the Music Hacks Network. And you know how we do it. We bring in all the great musicians from all over the world. Tonight we have an extraordinary bass player. All right, and when he joins us, then you will understand. Even his name says a lot about this bass player. All right, tonight we will have Mr. Craig Grizzle Bassy Higgins with us.
Blessings.
Craig,
Go
welcome to the
on.
Music Hacks Network, bro.
Give thanks, man. Thanks for the invite,
Yeah, man, definitely. It's always a pleasure to have my friends on this network, persons who I actually know personally. All right, I haven't seen you since
Years
I think
now.
about what 2012 or something like that.
School days, let's call it that.
School days.
Yeah, man,
So what?
definitely.
Yes. So what has been going on with you, man?
I've been home just getting some music ready to be released, So as we all are doing right now.
Definitely. All right. All right, Craig, let's get into the show. As I mentioned before, your bass name is quite a unique name,
Mm-hmm.
Grizzle Bassy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the toughest bass name I've heard in Jamaican terms. Wicked. Oh, how did you come up with this nickname?
I got the name from in high school in the school band, but in those days, me the bush up most of the time. So them just send me to look like a grizzly bear, and then came to Edna with the name. Somebody called me the name, and then I think Max, Max bass.
Yeah,
Just say,
man.
yo, Grizzle bass, and from then it was Grizzle bass from then.
Okay, cool. All right. Your background though, I am gonna ask you just to share with the viewers and the subscribers. Where is Craig coming from? What's your background like?
As most musicians, I would say church. So grew up in a church and play music. So that was the basic background for me, read music.
All right. What about your primary school days? You want to share about stuff like that and your high school?
Primary school was like everybody regular primary school, just basically run up and down and all them things. It was when we reached the high school now was where I took music more serious in ninth grade. When I went to Camperdown High School to let everybody know. So I joined the school band in grade 9, and from then music has been the thing for me from then till now.
Okay.
You know?
So you're actually involved in JCDC and all those musical activities.
Yeah, from high school, yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't as much as how I do right now with other schools, but it was just a small thing then, because Campano wasn't a big name in JCDC those days.
Understandable. All right. So how did you discover the bass? Let's hear about that.
All right. Playing in church as a art, I started to play the drums first, as a lot of musicians can attest to that. Started playing the drums first, and then switching from drums to keys, and the keyboardist at church then, which I can say right now, was Chris Wright, and
Wow.
everybody know who Chris Wright is. So at the time, keyboard really not make no sense. So he has an older brother now who plays the bass, and I admired how him play the bass and things. So from then, I just took up the bass, and it was history from then.
All right. Who are some of the other persons that you have looked to for influence, both locally and internationally?
All right, let me start. Let me just start internationally first, and then go local. So international, like Jacko, and then Marcus Miller, and then I don't remember his name. The bass player will play for will usually play for Ron Kinoli was a very, very, very good inspiration to me at the time.
Abraham,
Yes, man, him
Abraham
same
Laborel.
one. Him same one.
Yeah,
And
man.
then now it come to Jamaica now, it was Aston Family Man, Barrett, and um then Danny Bassey, um then Ian Oilet, um Robbie Shakespeare, the whole set of man, them, the whole of them set of, even Glenn Brown, everybody has a touch pan Grizzle when it come around to bass, as in big bass players, you know. I always sit down and listen to everybody record and try to emulate some Flabber, the whole of them. Everybody. Yeah.
All right. That's a lot of different styles um, coming together.
Exactly.
How
And that's
how how do you pick from all of these influences and sort of create your main sound?
basically what I do is search within them where I see myself, you know. So as a bass player for me, as you hear the name Grizzly, so that means say rugged and all them things. So definitely you find them type of things. So any bass line with rugged and them thing, them will gravitate to them thing, you know?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I right now I remember some of those bass lines that you usually play at school.
Definitely, man, definitely.
Yeah, man. You had a unique sound. All right.
Yeah, and that was something that I really tried to have, you know?
Definitely. All right. So Craig, I know that you're formally trained because um, we actually met at school.
Mm-hmm.
But what actually caused you to enter Edna Mali to be formally trained?
So that was because of my tutor at the time. He saw the potential for me to be, you know, in school. So he pushed me, he take me from school literally and carry me go up to Edna and literally paid for the examination for me to go in and do the audition and everything. And that was how my Edna Manley journey began. So he
Okay.
saw the whole potential that I had at the time, you know.
All right. Are there any memorable moments while you're at Edna Mali that you want to share with us?
There are so many, so many. I remember even speaking to Sharpman Kenron Mullins the other day and I told him that one of the things that solid that is so engraved in my mind was going into the auditorium and seeing Sharpman and guitar, jerks and bass, I think it was Kongs and drums, Wade and keys, and they were sound checking, live up yourself. I will never forget that. That was something what me say, yo, music here, so yeah, so it there. You know,
Definitely.
one of the things was meeting up with Hector Lewis, Roots percussionist, Shane Firekeys, Chaddy and Monroe, and even a friend and thing, Ramesh Folks, God bless him soul and thing, was, those days at school us playing around and doing music, you know?
Definitely. All right. I am trying not to go into your presentation because I know you're here to speak with us mostly on your journey. So I'm trying not to go into your presentation.
All
But
right.
what are you currently working on at this time?
Working on some rhythms, some rhythm for juggle and thing, to release, and working on some projects with some other artists and things. So that's basically what's going on right now.
All right. Do you have anything released already?
I released a track last year with Kabaka Pyramid featuring Chris Martin, Quarantine. So that was something I released last year.
How is that doing?
Well, it's getting its regular rotation. You know, it's not as big as how we don't want it, but we see what the airways is right now. Music is just being released every day, so you just have to just keep on releasing. You know? That's what it is right
Definitely.
now.
All right, Craig. I am going to leave the rest questions for persons who are on Zoom and those persons who are on YouTube. All right. So
All
at
right.
this time, I'm going to allow you to go into your presentation. What's the topic that you have for us tonight?
Touring musician, touring, I guess. So I started touring in 2014 with Kabaka Pyramid and the Bebel Rockers. Our first tour was right then in 2014, in the summer of 2014. That was such a good experience, Just I usually watch all these summer shows, all these festivals on YouTube, and it was a dream to say to go on these stage. But when you're on the plane going and you reach, that's a different thing. So, re-touring now at that time, I didn't have any clue what like amps and all of these things. I didn't have a clue how these things work. But as I started into touring now, as in you started to understand what equipment you need to add on your ride and stuff. So I've been to the US, Canada, England, Europe, part of South America, those places, Central America, yeah.
Once you're there, I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to tell us when you get there,
Mm-hmm.
like what is it like, the experience?
Um, Usually as you get there, you don't get on the bus. You get to either you go to a hotel, if the hotel is where you go first, or you go to the venue. When you reach, if you go to hotel, you drop bags and stuff, then you go to the venue for sound check. Sound check now is where you get all the equipments together. As me as the bass player now, when I get there, I actually check in with the engineers and everybody with what equipment I'm going to use. Um, Check with the house engineer and the monitor engineer with levels and how everything is going to sound. Um, yeah, Tuning amp, make sure that it's not always just a deep tone you're getting all parts of the spectrum, and make sure the levels of the amp is not that overpowering on stage. That's the house engineer can get a good balance. I see somebody asking a question right here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, asking what's my favorite setup on tour, my rig. Rig, I usually have my SWR 800 or David Eden 800. But the last tours I've been on, the marquee bass has been a nice setup. The head and the cabinet, nice setup. And we need, as bass players, I can say, we need to make sure that whatever base you have, it is compatible with the head and cabinet, because not all the bass, we even we read the preamps, not all bass are compatible. Some bass, some cabinet will give you a more harsher sound. That's why I like Ampeg, but Ampeg sometimes doesn't give me that warm push that I like. I like when the bass is right in my back. Sometimes the Ampeg, with depending on which bass I'm using, doesn't give that push. So sometimes that's why I choose between the SWR or the David Eden. And to what I get to know now, the market base, you know. So yeah.
All right. What's the accommodation like? You know,
Accommodation. And what? And what? In
how are
which
you
angle?
treated once you get there as
Um,
artist?
as art, it's usually good, you know. It's usually good when you get to venues. You have somewhere called backstage and green room. Most times, you know, you get what's on your right or read the green room, you know, like snacks, shows. We tour with Kabaka as a Rastaman now, so you know, say certain things you know really get, and you know get to eat on tour, and even for that, it helps to curb our healthy lifestyle, you know. So most things with them are mostly vegan. So with that in mind, you know, you get health conscious right there. So most things are going to be healthy. Um, most promoters that we've been through, it's been good, you know, it's not bad. Someone else asked a question, what has been the favorite place or country to perform, or do you appreciate about the culture of that place? Um, I have a couple places that I, one of the favorite places for me that I've been is Hawaii. That was a place that was on my bucket list to go to, and the people over there are like how we see it on TV, you know, very warm and engaging. Very nice. In Europe, the best place one of my favorite places to perform is in Germany. Germany is nice. People there love reggae music, and they love you as a person. You know, they love you as a person, and so is England as well. You know, they love you as a person, as in they love Grizzle. If Grizzle is who they come to see, you know, people have when I finish shows, people have come to me and say, Grizzle, your bass lines have, you know, helped to change my life and all of them things, you know. So I've got those compliments. All right, moving from one place to the next. So depending on like the budget of a tour, so it's either as in transportation, you either get the big tour bus or a smaller bus. Um, it all depends on how far the journey. If you have a 10 hours between shows, you know, between cities, you have to really, you know, sit for 10 hours, you know. In that time, I usually either listen music, either read something to keep your mind active, or sleep. I'm not a person that sleeps a lot on the tour buses most time, you know. Um, it all depends on which tour bus it is as well. For me, if I'm on the big tour buses with the bunks and the beds and stuff, I'll be in my bed all the time. But if it's not one of those tours, I can't sleep with my back like this. So most of the time, I'm usually up listening music or reading something, you know, or I'm an adventure person or a person who likes to, you know, explore. So I'll be looking out to see some monument or something of the sort, you know. So moving from one place and then moving from one place, you have the time. So if, as I said before, it was a 10-hour drive, if you have to leave at 8, you have to leave at 8. So if the show finishes at 3, you have to get back to hotel to get some sort of sleep or some rest to get on the bus to leave by 8. So you as a musician, you depict how you want to spend your time in this, you know, for reach to that bus. And once the person says it's 8 o'clock, it's 8 o'clock. It's not 8:30, 8:15, 8:10. It's 8 o'clock, because every time spent or every time wasted, it has to be, you have to get it back somewhere. And if you reach late, somebody will go vex, you know. So at that time, when it comes to time, man, them have to get that up and running. We know so when we there at Jamaica, when a man say 8 o'clock, we said, no man, 8:15, 8:30, nah, kiss me man. And tours are different thing. Once the man them say 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you know. And if it's I haven't toured with anybody else per se, so I can't tell as in of our next group, but we can say if you're touring with the next group and the man them say 8 o'clock and you reach late, the bus might leave you. You know? And that is something that you don't want to happen. So yeah, from getting to point A to point B, you have to be on point. Yeah. So all right. Hold on, somebody's asking the next question again. How do you manage playing and singing, remember bass line harmonies at the same time? What a question. All right. Playing and singing. You know, so that was something that took me a while to get used to. It took me a very long time. I usually, first time playing, I usually put my foot on the mic, stand right there. So I usually put right there. So, and then it's for me to find a pivot zone, you know, where my comfort that I can, you know. So that is that. Play and sing and the singing part. It's just you see as a drummer I play a whole heap of different things. It's just you have to, you know, multitask and just get it together, you know. It's something you have to practice separately, you know. Practice your bass lines good and sit down and get the harmonies and everything done. And then you put them together. And it's gonna take your time. So don't worry if you start and it feel like it awkward. Don't worry about that. Just try it again. And anyway you feel comfortable at doing it first, you do that first. You know, as I tell me usually put my foot on the mic stand. And from then now we can move. You know? So that was something that helped me. You know?
All right. Do you guys get time to rehearse
As
when you're on
in when
tour? Between
you know,
shows.
no. Most times you rehearse in Jamaica and you go up and that show. But sometimes it all depends on like if you have a couple off days and then somebody or Kabaka don't feel alright with the set or somebody don't feel good with something, we can say, alright, we can book a rehearsal here so and you know, run from there. Or it all depends if we come back from a tour and we know so we're going to go back out again. Sometimes we usually fly up and do the rehearsal away, you know. All depends. But it's not all the time. It's rare that we get the time to rehearse abroad. We usually rehearse here in Jamaica before we leave. All right. You see, with Kabaka, because most times, so we know the music, the rehearsal doesn't have to start from 6 months or so. We can start the rehearsal from like 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the tour. But it all depends on like if we have new music, like when Kabaka just finished his first album, we started rehearsing like months in advance before the tour. That's how we know we have whole heap of material to learn, who need to cut up sample and who need to get sample and you know make sure it's a sample a click in rehearsal and everything. So it all depends on like the material. So if we don't have new materials or stuff like that to go through, we not have to stress the rehearsal. We just need to just get the set list. And me and Shane is the man in the rehearsal, or not in the rehearsal. Me and Shane is the man who usually kind of force we get the set list early to start, you know, get things in your head and all them things, you know. So yeah. And me's a man me like get me set list early, that's me can, you know, and start rehearse early. I mean I like when I like all a 1 week or even 2 weeks worse. I mean, I like that. I like I have space to sit down and make mistake and do what I don't fix up. So me like it. I borrowed a bass one time because my headless owner, they give me some problem before I went on tour. So I had to borrow a bass literally before, like maybe 2 days before the tour. And I borrowed the Music Man Bongo 5 from Shire Core. That bass was a bass to remember. That was a bass that was nice on every stage that I've been on with it. You know, it never failed me, not all, none tall, it not fail me. It played nice. So that was one of my favorite bass to play at the time. But my favorite bass is my black headless owner. That bass, from I saw that bass the first time, I fell in love with that bass until this day. Every time I take up that bass to play, it's like a new feeling. That bass is just a bass that I love, you know? That bass line is a bass line where you can't even rush. Even though sometimes we speed it up, but that bass line there is like it after there a little bit, a little tops behind the drum, like behind the drum. So usually me and Chris have play that song. Is like me and Chris have really, you know, interact with that tune there, you know, cause it is a tune we have to sit down with it, you know. It can't too fast. If it fast and if I push the bass line, the whole groove right go gone. And me as a person will like groove, you know, and I say like love groove. So it has to have a groove. So when you hear your drum, yeah. So yeah, it have to set to have yeah man. So that's definitely it, you know. Yeah man. Yeah man, Cambry bassline good to Foga. Cambry bassline is the one that I like as well too. Jonathan Foga is one as a student that I taught in high school. He went to Jamaica College. I was the teacher for them at JC. So big up to Foga.
Yeah, man.
And big up to
Definitely.
Glenn as well.
Respect to it. Okay. Good night, Mr. Craig.
Good night, good night. Who am I speaking to?
I speaking with Ocean, sir.
Alright, blessings, Oshin. What going?
Yeah, I have a question for you on the
Sure.
on the reggae. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, okay. When playing the reggae car, overall, everybody, most bass player play reggae, but you have some bass player where some of them reggae more effective.
Mm-hmm.
One question I want to ask, is it the way is it the your fingers are because of the finger you use, or you can use the index or the thumb, which one are more compatible playing the reggae to get that smooth, or you know, that punch you don't want from it?
Yo, it not have nothing to do with the fingers. It's about just the tone of your bass have to be the first thing. It's not the tone have to be good. And it not mean say the bass tone have to be that deep alone, you know, because remember say you have other part of the spectrum. So what you need to do is try to find that spot on the bass at the front pickup. And
Well,
you hear me?
yeah, I'm hearing you.
And then now you see your hand on the bass now, as in where you play the notes, your left hand kind of ease up half of the string them a little bit, and then you will get the tone them from there. It doesn't matter about the thumb. It you see the thumb or the fingers depending on the tone of the bass where you want. And sometimes you don't want to play thumb all the time. You know? It all depends on the tone where you want. So it now have nothing to do with the finger or the thumb. It's just your placement of your hand on the bass and how or you caress your bass, just you that. You have to sit down and find that within yourself, and then once you start playing more and more, it will reveal to you.
Okay, good. When playing reggae, there's a little jogging that you would normally do. Listening to reggae, realize with the most bass players, I realize they don't rush the bass lines. They have a little jogging to it. If that's what I've been chick behind the reggae.
No man, it all depends. And every bass line for always the behind the beat. Some for the forward, some the behind. It all depends on the feel. It all depends on the feel. You can't and every bass line you can just drag. So sometimes it sound lazy. While some you have to push it. All depends, But once something I sit down like you can't always rush that. So bass line is, as a matter of tell you, it's something you caress, You can't, once you feel the music, and me not talk just, not talk feel the music. You gotta feel the beat them. So means a man that like listen to the catch when the catch drop. That's how when me start feel that, me know where me supposed to be after that.
Yeah, do you think reggae is one of the most disciplined genre of music? Because in reggae, why I say that, why I ask that question is because in the reggae, I mostly groove your reggae bass lines. Mostly grooves. You only hear a man put a one line or a licks in reggae.
Yo, every music, in no matter a reggae alone, every music is groove. In no matter of any genre, you have to groove. And if the music don't require you doing a whole heap of lines, you have to just groove. Cause me as a person, me as a bass player, that was one of the things that even made me stand out at Edna. I can play anything for you, any genre, and just still groove with the genre. It not have to be whole heap of lines. If you hear how me play, me not play whole heap of lines. But it's all about just groove. So it not have to do not with just reggae alone. It's just groove of bass playing. And that's why I said bass as a bass player, I have to know how to groove and just caress. That's why them say yo baseline make girl waistline move. That's the whole point of it. You can't you have to make the music groove that people can feel what go on.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think you and Chris Bailey can see another same boat. The groove god. Okay.
Yeah, man, groove is where it is. And groove now have nothing to do with one bag of notes. You can play
Yes, man.
one
Yeah.
note and groove with one note. Yeah, man.
Okay, that's good. That's good, man. Thank you much. All right, sir.
Yeah, big up yourself,
Any
Shane.
other?
All right, Mr. Foga
Foga, come through.
is here to ask some more questions. Jonathan.
Yo, Chris. Sir Grizzle, well gone.
Well gone, Foga.
Then, now this one is more to your like when you're on tour, this is more to your non-bass moments. Like, you will notice when we see you on tour, you have multiple roles. You're not just a bass player. We see you doing background vocals, but sometimes depending on the song. Example, sometimes in Kabaka versus Pyramid, we see you give Shakir the bass and we see you up front with a mic.
Yeah.
Just talk us through them kind of experience there, when you portray an artist and thing. You're not play a bass.
That come with now the multi-talented thing of me now. Because most people find out by now me can play different instruments. And of late now, as in since last 15 years or so, me take up singing and them thing there. So Kabaka as an artist now, him realize all of these things with him band members. Him know with strengths and weaknesses. So him realize me like the singing thing now. So in one rehearsal now, while singing Bob Marley, he start sing out and he said, "No man, come and sing that." And from then now we start do that. So as you can see, Shakir take the bass. So that shows that Shakir can play bass. You get what I say? You hear me, Jonathan?
Yeah, man, I hear
Yeah,
you
man.
loud and clear.
Yeah, man. So that is what happens. So as the Kabaka usually say within that segment of the show, it must show how multi-talented the Baby Rockers are. So that is where we start who for start sing, and who for do what start do what. So that is what that is all about right there. So what other question? What the next part of the question we did ask me again, as in different from playing bass?
Yeah, like just any other non-bass moments that you have on tour that you don't want to share with us.
Me as a person who like engineering, so most times if me not play bass, I would be more where the engineering booth is to hear what's going on, so I can even help to tune or to do anything with my bass from there. So me like the them thing there. So most times when I'm on stage and some frequency come out, me can actually tell the engineer, say boy, that frequency that jump out. So me is that type of person there. Me like engineering and things. So if me not play bass on tour or me at a venue or anything, me there's part the board. Yeah, man. So me like them little vibes there. So me and engineer them always the best of friends. Where do you see yourself musically in the next 5 years? Next 5 years, definitely I want to be one of the next big engineers, as in reproduction. I'm a big producer. Me see myself in the realms there right now. So I get myself ready for them levels there right now. So as you see most musicians doing right now, most man I make beats and I produce and everything. That's a good thing. So me want put myself in other levels then now. So I want for the producing. Plus I want to do engineering as well, as in mixing and master. So that's something that I want to learn. All right. Nathan, Vassal, go on through the question.
Yeah, manners to all and
Thanks.
everyone. Yeah, man, sir. As a musician, what would you say would be a moment where you can remember stuff? How you remember sets?
Usually me make markers of things. So if me I play a song or if me not remember what the song is, me put something beside if you say, boy, remember say that song did. So them little things, and then rehearsal. Once you rehearse and you rehearse, the set will come better to you. I say as when you do work, when you do it over and over, your brain it sink in your brain. So that's one of the things I'm gonna do. Rehearsal, and then put things to remember me. If you want to remember a baseline, even as Edna students now, you start notate and all them things there. So all of different things. That cool?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. You did say something,
All right.
Chris?
Yeah, Ruel is asking a question on YouTube. He is asking, what is your least favorite amp to use? The least favorite.
Least favorite amp. If I go somewhere and see one amp, I'm a vex. Which amp would that be? So honestly, I've never thought of most amps when we go and see, as we know, when we go on tour, we usually say Ampeg. For an Ampeg is usually SWR. So Ampeg and SWR you can use. There's no problem with using neither of the amps. But I wouldn't say that I've me buck up on my amp and me just not like it. Because most time as default, you have buck up a Ampeg. And that can work with, as we know.
Zoom chat from Glendon Clark.
Okay,
What is
what
your
is it?
favorite song to play in Kabaka's set?
um, I have two songs. I said one earlier, Herb Defender, and the next one is Meaning of Life. And you can check out that one there as well. And well done as well. Well done as well. Sorry. Well done.
So what is special about these songs? You like to share why you like them so much?
Mostly is the bass line and the groove. If you listen to Meaning of Life, the groove and the bass line, plus what is being said in the, it's like everything incorporate with the song. For me, in a Meaning of Life, everything is complement each other. The lyrics, bass line. Herb Defender is like the whole bass line, the whole pata pata ta, you know, I like that vibe of it. Well done. I'm pumped. Yo, Aston Jr., great bass line. That was a bass line where me just love as well. So,
All right, Craig, if you should tour with another popular artist,
mm-hmm.
who would that person be?
Who would that be? Maybe Stephen Marley. I like Alba music too as well. That's a very tough question. Richie Spice. What else? Couldn't tell you. Just only for different people. All depends, you know. We not no preference. You know, if a tour come with an artist, you know, work it. But them one my name just a while ago could narrow it down a little bit of favorite, you know. Sasko, sorry,
Okay.
Sasko. Me have to add Sasko, sorry. I have to add Sasko. Me rate Sasko as an artist. As in rate, music, everything. Him, everything, rate.
What? Yes, a question from Mesedo Drums. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What is your worst tour experience that you can remember?
Worst tour experience. Worst tour experience. Worst tour experience. Alright. It might sound away. Alright. The first tour that I've been on was good, but in the sense of that's the first time we've been on the road for like 2.5 months. And that's very long. So right then and there you get so flustered with, you know, being in a different country, being different countries, and you just learn about Europe money, you just learn about this a place of money, and when you're not used to the food, and you know, so that was something where the first tour was, you know, a challenge. And the next tour was a tour we did. It was the first contraband tour where it was, no, not the first tour, was Accurate Tour part, what was that? Part two, I think? Yes, part two. That was a very hectic tour, as in we get limited amount of us moving from one place to the next, you know. As in very, very moves. You're there here, so today you have to drive to the next place. Come on to the bus, sure. Go back to the bus, sure. So that was a tour to remember.
Alright, you did talk about your favorite place. What was your favorite show that you've done so far? Well, I've been watching you guys like Kabak and the Berry Rockers for a good while now. So there are many shows that I've seen you guys do. Which one is your favorite, like in terms of how good the set was, the crowd vibe, etc.? You know.
My favorite show was actually Summer Jam 2019. That was a show that was, cause I felt right then and there the set was good and the stage was good. Everything went good right there. So that was my favorite show. Oh, Abby have a question. Come
Yes,
through,
man.
Abby.
Awesome.
Yeah, greetings everybody, greetings family.
No,
Yes.
hold on, Abby. Before me need to address who he is. This is the manager, one of the managers for Kabaka Pyramid right here.
Whoa,
Abishai
welcome.
Islet.
Welcome,
Yeah, man.
sir.
Greetings, everybody. Pleasure to be here. Not in a position I can turn on my camera now, but bless up.
Yeah, man.
Grizzly,
Yeah, man.
what's your favorite memory from tour? Not necessarily show related or anything, but just road life. And also, what's your worst? I think a lot of the times when we talk about the tour life and music, people romanticize it and only see the good parts. I think it's good if you can share even some of the not so good parts. And then also, as I say, balance it out with one of your favorite memory, not necessarily show related or performance, but the life of a musician.
The good part, and I wouldn't say it's one selective thing. The good part about it is just how we as the Bebel Rockers and Kabaka Pyramid vibe on tour. When we not have nothing music related, we sit down and give joke and we play football or we do things, go to road and get food and everything. As I said, Kabaka is a vegan person, and one of the things that we enjoy was that with him we get health conscious, so most of the man them we usually does, you know, so we get health conscious. Read the bad part now. The bad part is the long drive them for me. The long drives, and sometimes you're not getting chance to eat. Sometimes you reach at a hotel and the hotel is not up to your expectations. And yeah, as I'm saying, I get to eat most of the time. And when you're done show, you have to go back to hotel for reach to go somewhere else tomorrow. So that was one of the bad experiences for me.
Yeah, man, that good, man. I was kind of leaving the space home to see if anybody had no reaction to it and thing.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I hate
blessings,
to
Abby.
drive them too.
You drive them miserable, Abby. You know it go already. You know how it go.
Probably this is a question that most persons will hide. Is being on tour, is it a lucrative venture for musicians? Do you make money from going to tour?
With that question now, it comes on to who you're touring with. As we know, different artists charge different amount. And it all depends on where you are on the ladder or whatever you want to put it as. So you don't expect Kabaka to get the same money as a Chronix, put it like that. So it all depends on who you tour with, And as the younger musician them, one thing I can say to you is that when you're going on tour, don't stick up an artist based on what you hear your brethren talk about. So if your brethren I get $1,000, if you have a tour with a upcoming artist, he can't get $1,000. So don't come and stick up artists and say, yo, but my brethren I get to. No. If you no work out a budget and say, boy, is 5 bills, 4 bills, 6 bills, 8 bills, whatever, how much money you can come to, and say, boy, that is the agreement, work with that agreement. No go out and stick up the artist. Just look at where the artist is in them career, and then you follow it from there. Because you will know what is it from there. For artists, if it's a small artist, don't expect him to get the big dollars. But if you work with a big artist, and him gonna tell you a small dollar, that's a different case. So it all depends on the artist. And a lot of musicians get that concept they wrong. The man them think say because you have a tour, go up on a plane and go tour the artist, and feel like say boy a big money for you make all the time. And so it go. You have to really look on the reality. The reality is that if you have a small artist working with, you're gonna get small dollars. But if it's a big artist, money will come in.
All right. In the same vein, what if I have a 9 to 5 job and my heart is not really in the 9 to 5, but it's really in being a professional musician, want to tour. Is it wise for me to give up my 9 to 5 to be a touring musician? Is it worthwhile financially? I know you already addressed that, but
All right.
do I give up what I have
My
9 to 5 to for that?
my concern with that is that if your 9 to 5 run 9 to 5 every day, cool, that is what happened. But a touring musician, you don't tour right around the year. You have seasons. You know, it's not you're not gonna get up and say a artist always a tour between December, January, or even say February. You know, you don't really get that all the time. So most times tour gonna happen within the summer or early summer or a little bit after summer. You know, so I wouldn't tell a man say if he left him 9 to 5 and go becoming a tour musician. I wouldn't tell her that. It all depends on where you are within your life. If you know, say, you reach somewhere in your life where you can step away from your 9 to 5, fine. But don't get up and dash your 9 to 5 because it can balance it back. Because when me as a tour musician come off a tour, I have my job where that I go back to. You know? So I wouldn't tell a man to do that. Touring can't just always save you. You have to always have something to balance your back.
All right. Cool. All right. We have a few questions on YouTube.
All right.
We're gonna take one from Mark Anthony Reed. Is there a difference in mindset and in your playing approach when you're on tour playing in a club versus playing in an arena or a large venue?
Yeah, man. For me, it all got different right then and there because as you know, your eyes see what your eyes see, it all got tell your brain. So if you're in a club and you have 100 people or 200 or 300 people, you got a whole a vibe, yes, and it's going to be a little bit more intimate because at the end of the day, then they're right in front of you, you can literally like touch them, you know. But when you're on a big stage now as musician, when you live on big stage, it's like right there, so you start play some things where you never usually play in a club, you know. So when you're on the big stage, it go some things might come out more than when you're in a club, you know. If that answers your question.
All right. Rural Miller.
Come to
Bless
real
up,
life.
Rural. All right. What makes your honor stand out more than your other bases?
First of all, it's smaller, so the weight tight is right then and there. The thing about it. Pick up them and if you roll as a man, I'm glad to if you roll ask. Him changed out the preamp to a Bartolini. I don't remember what the series is, but him changed it out. And we need to change out the pick up them as well. But that was one of the things that I love about the bass again. So when him change out that pick up the bass lift, so the warm tones start come out more now. All of the level of the spectrum them start come out more. So that was something that me love about it from then, you know, and even till now. So that was why I'm like the owner. If that answers your question, well.
All right, cool. From Matthew Freighter. In the case that a band member can't make it on the tour, do you have an understudy or replacement?
Yeah, man. Me always think of them things. I have my brethren them I know me can call and say, boy, if me can't do this, me can shout a man. You know? And enough time where a musician may be afraid to do that cause maybe a man will take away him work or some feeling in him head. But if you and your brethren them have a understand. Me can call Roel. Me can even name some people. Me can call Roel to do a tour for me. Can call Carlton, Charco, can call Spangy. You can call them man. And it's not even just, I have to think about how the man them are go represent even me on the road. You know, all of them little thing there. So them thing you have to have into play with the whole thing with that.
All right, Craig, I'm going to ask you to break up things now. Just give us another one of those grizzly bass lines, you know?
Hold on there.
All right, we're going to take this question after from Ainsworth.
So this one is well done. They have yep.
All right, mad. All right, let's take one from Ainsworth now.
Alright, what is the question again? What are your expectations from a drummer while playing on stage? From Chris, no. Well, we play with different drummers. As in play music, sorry. At the end of the day, you and the drummer have to have contact, as in have to know what going on, because when a mixer come, when something come, and I have to really know when that plus really groove, and I have to in sync together, you know. So as the drummer, then me always make sure say me link with them even off stage as well, you know, to make sure say you have that communication there with them, and for, you know, you can easily talk to them, because once you have that relationship, I think the music and everything will be better.
Christian from Foga, do you create any of Kabaka's bass lines?
I created
ones?
My Time. I played on My Time for the Contraband album. So that was one of the bass. Even though that bass line is for Kabaka, it's between me and Kabaka, that bass line.
I am very, very honored to be interviewing you on this show tonight. You know, you're one that I have always admired. Your bass playing at Edna Manley.
Give thanks, man. Give thanks.
Yeah, man. All right. But before we go, what do you have to say to younger bass players that are coming up in the business?
What I can say is that just remember, it's not always about just being flashy, you know. Even though we know, say, as musicians, we like that thing there for sure, but at the end of the day, we have to groove. If you can't groove, the bag of notes them to make sense, you know. As I said earlier, I can play one note and groove with the one note. So as a bass players coming up, the man them just groove some more. Just play the bass line them some more, and have to always you know, go all over the place, just groove. You know? So that's one of my things to the bass players coming up right now. And about the thing say you have to as the person asking, you have to always thumb to get the tone in a reggae setting, you know. Just you have to just find that spot there where the bass line is very warm to you, and just groove from there.
All right. There's one more question from you too. We have to ask this one. Everton Clark, he's asking, has the pandemic impacted your finances? And if so, what is your advice to musicians and financial planning?
My thing is that, of course, it has affect all of it, because usually we have shows to do. No, we don't. What I can say is that the man them find something to do if you know say other than music you have a next talent where you can do, find something to do different from there. So like me encourage enough man say if you know say you have piece of land somewhere, go and go take up some farming and do something. You know, in a sense, you shame yourself and say, boy, I'm a big musician, I'm not supposed to do that. No, man. Go do it at the end of the day, your life, not the masses' life. It's your life. You know, so whatever you have to do separately and apart from music, do that. But if it's music is your thing, find something like some of the man them find something like producing and everything and put music out that you can generate back something within your pocket.
Well said, well said. All right, Grizzle. How can we contact you via social media or any other platform?
Man, them can link me up as you say at GrizzleBSA on Instagram. Once you go on Instagram, you can find all the details from me right there. So if you want to link me up on a tour, blackicecraig@hotmail.com. Everything is on YouTube on Instagram to contact me.
All right, Craig, bless up yourself, sir.
Give thanks.
And I wish you all the best on your endeavors and for the future.
Give thanks. And bless up to everybody and give thanks to everybody for coming in and all that vibe.
Yeah, man. You want to shout out to anybody in the chat or on YouTube or whatever before we go?
Bless up everybody. Right now, I hold up a people for me. I see. So bless up everybody. And give thanks to Evil Foga for coming. Big up to the JC Massive them. And big up to my brethren them there up online. And big up to Abishai Islet Management for coming in and all that vibe to do too.
Definitely. All right. Respect.
Give thanks.
Craig,
Give thanks.
Grizzle, Basie, Higgins. All right.
Grizzle.
Yeah, man.
Give thanks.
Before we close the live stream, we have a special presentation from Mr. Lukel Miller. Bless up yourself, Lukel.
Come on, big up Chris.